Are you looking for better shooting experience? How about a facility where you can shoot all of your firearms in the same day, where you can move and shoot steel, draw from the holster, and practice your rifle work out to 600 yards? Shoot a very challenging sporting clays course or a round of trap or skeet. You can do all that and much more at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Hi, I'm David Lombardo, president of the Aurora Sportsman's Club. If you love the outdoors, you'll want to know all about Northern Illinois' largest outdoor shooting facility, the Aurora Sportsman's Club. If you're a novice looking for a basic course, an experienced shooter looking for an advanced course, or perhaps you want to participate in your favorite shooting event, or just spend an enjoyable day with a family, the Aurora Sportsman's Club is the only shooting facility in the region that offers all that and more. Interested? Then you won't want to miss the next orientation and tour of the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Call, email, or visit our website today to find out how you can become part of a better shooting experience at the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman, Illinois.
He is the human Molotov cocktail that they can legally throw into the system that stole their lives from them.
So we're going to create a new government that serves you, your family, and your country.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues, here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David's rant of the week is Concealed Carry, Violent Crime, and Common Sense, with David and Gretchen talking about concealed carry and a proposed New York gun bill that could get people killed. Then we'll look at the U.S. cutting millions of dollars of support from the United Nations. And finally, how many universities are bringing in conservative graduation speakers? All that and more on tonight's On Target Radio. So give us a call at 815-205-1584. That's 815-205-1584. Or go to Facebook, like our page On Target Radio, and ask a question or make a comment there.
And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's time for David's Rant of the Week.
In addition to being history's greatest gun salesman, Barack Obama did the best job of convincing John Q. public there really is a need for concealed carry. John Q. paid attention and turned out by the thousands. Also under Obama's watch, the last two concealed carry holdout states, Wisconsin and Illinois, passed laws permitting residents to carry a concealed firearm. Of course, the Birkenstock Brigade fought it in both states, warning of dire consequences, casually ignoring the other 48 states not experiencing any problem with concealed carry permit holders. So far, no blood running in the streets, no concealed carry permit holder shooting someone over a parking space, or any of the other dire warnings that were issued by Democrats prior to the law's implementation. What did happen is John Q. turned out in droves and signed up for concealed carry. According to a recent article in Breitbart, concealed carry permits rose 215% between 2007 and 2015, and the murder rate dropped 14% during that same time period. Crime Prevention Research Center data shows that there were 14.5 million permit holders in May of 2016 and approximately 15.7 million in May of 2017. In the CPRC's latest annual report, which covers 2015, it notes the number of concealed handgun permits issued that year set another record, an increase of 1.73 million permits issued, slightly higher than the previous record of 1.69 million. Currently, about 6.06% of the 248 million adults in the U.S. have a concealed carry permit. 10 states have more than 10% of the adults registered as concealed carry holders, with Indiana the highest at 15% and South Dakota coming in at number 2 with 14.7%. 3 states, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Texas, have over 1 million residents each who who are concealed carry permit holders. It is also safe to say that these numbers do not reflect the true number of concealed carry holders, because there are 11 states that do not require any licensing. One interesting side note is between 2012 and 2016, in states that provide data by gender, the number of women with permits has increased at double the rate of men. As always, the Birkenstock Brigade produces endless talking points, all aimed at making people believe concealed carry leads to an increase in criminal activity. According to Gun Facts, gun homicides were 10% higher in states with restrictive CCW laws, according to a study spanning 1980 through 2009. What studies have consistently shown since Florida introduced concealed carry in 1988 is only 0.02% of all concealed carry permit holders have gone on to commit a gun-related crime. After passing their concealed carry law, Florida's homicide rate fell from 36% above the national average to 4% below. Similar to the Texas murder rates fell 50% faster than the national average. Rape rates dropped 93% faster in the first year after enactment and 500% faster in the second year. Conversely, cities such as Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles, with the most restrictive gun ownership laws, have shockingly high violent crime rates. So, what does the Birkenstock Brigade do in response? Well, double down on what doesn't work best. Liberal politicians, third-rate movie stars, and the belle of the ball, Gabby Giffords, are all lobbying hard to stop the enactment of concealed carry national reciprocity. They talk about all the gun violence and saving the children. The one thing they don't talk about is, while the whole dramatic influx of concealed permit holders was happening, the murder rate dropped by 14%, and the overall violent crime rate dropped by 21%. While it's difficult to come up with hard evidence of an inverse relationship between the two, there's substantial anecdotal information from inmates saying one of the prime concerns in the commission of a crime is the vulnerability of the potential victim. Guess what? Bad guys don't want to get shot. For all the gun control exhortations by the Birkenstock Brigade about common sense, novelist and science fiction author Robert Heinlein best illustrated a common sense explanation when he wrote in Beyond This Horizon, "An armed society is a polite society. Manners are good when one may have to back up his acts with his life." And that, Gretchen, is my rant for this week.
Yeah, I thought the murder rate going down 93% was pretty surprising because I always say, and I really believe that, when I'm walking around, I don't think that people look at me and go, "I bet she's got a gun."
No.
I mean, and I don't...
You look like an easy target.
I think most women are probably in the same boat. I mean, I think most women don't look like gun-toting women. I mean, Marilyn Smolenski.
Yeah.
Would anyone, if you didn't know anything about her, you would never in a million years think that she has a gun on her.
She'll bite you.
Oh, she'll shoot you. Yeah, no question.
She's married to Mark.
Right, exactly.
It is interesting, though, because all the numbers bear this out. I mean, it's not like there's any sort of question about it. Just recently, yesterday or the day before, somebody was being accosted and threatened, and they shot him. I mean, a concealed carry holder saved his own skin again. These aren't like these numbers are hidden.
No.
They just make up their own stuff.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
Well, again, we've said this many times, and I think that, we know this. Intellectually, we know this, but making it a part of our lives is another thing, is that the liberals, the Birkenstock Brigade, as you call them, the liberals use emotion to their advantage. And there is, logic is not part of what they're worried about, basically. It's just not part of what they do.
It's true. I mean, and the one thing I've always noted is that when they have no argument to support what they want.
Right.
They immediately go on the personal attack.
Right.
You don't like children. You don't care about this. You don't care about that.
It's either personal attack but all of these people that were murdered
Yeah.
in Chicago last weekend, well, 95% of them are gangbangers.
Right.
So we're probably better
black on
off.
black kids. Yeah.
Right.
That's it. They make these sweeping statements. Of course, we never do that.
No.
But I had somebody on Facebook wrote, somebody I knew in high school, and who I like. She's a good person, but she went through all this stuff. You didn't like Barack Obama because it wasn't because he wasn't a good president, because he was. Yeah, right. And it goes down this whole list. The only reason you didn't like him is because he was black. That's their logical fallback to when they don't have anything else, right? Mm-hmm. So I wrote, really, that's interesting. I would have voted for Condoleezza Rice in a heartbeat. Let me think. Black, female, that's a double home run right there.
Right.
How do you explain that?
Right.
Well, there wasn't a lot of explanation
Right.
there.
If you're racist or sexist, you wouldn't bring up Condoleezza Rice.
Exactly.
But there you have it. Yeah. I mean,
and I would have. I love Condoleezza Rice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know anyone who doesn't.
Yeah.
To be
So
honest.
that's the game that they always play, and they perpetuate these myths. And of course, this goes back to Saul Alinsky. You say it loud enough, often enough, it becomes fact. Mm-hmm. But they always talk about it doesn't prevent crimes. And the problem with the concept of it doesn't prevent crimes, see, you can't prove something prevented something from happening.
You can't prove something didn't happen.
Exactly.
Right.
94%, no, I mean, it didn't happen. How can you say that?
Right. So you have to use statistics like what we've been talking
Exactly. You look at what has happened to the crime rate, and it has dropped. And it hasn't dropped in places where they don't allow concealed carry, or they so severely restrict it.
Right.
It's unusable. We had a woman today who is originally from this area and lives in California. She's a shooter. So she came to the club to shoot IDPA.
Okay.
I said, and I saw, you got to joke at somebody from California, but she had concealed carry. And I said, you're one of the chosen few. You're not a movie star. She laughed. All right, we're going to be back. When we return, we're going to talk a little more about concealed carry and some legislation that's coming up in New York. It's kind of interesting, but stupid. So anyway, all that and more when we return with more on Target Radio.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. The On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Do you dread writing? Is it challenging to find just the right words to get your point across? Do you put off developing marketing materials because you just don't know where to start? You get one chance to make a first impression, and my editor, Creative Business Services, can help make it a strong, positive one. Hi, this is Gretchen Fritz, co-host of On Target Radio, and I'd like to tell you about My Editor, a business I started to help you overcome those concerns. What you're experiencing is very common. My Editor has helped business owners, candidates for political office, and even authors and public speakers. At My Editor Creative Business Services, we can simply edit your existing work or help you develop an entire writing plan of action from initial project design through final copy. We are easy to work with and will help you get your point across in the most effective manner. If words escape you, send me an email at myeditor@mail.com. Use My Editor Creative Business Services and go to print with confidence. That's myeditor@mail.com or find us on Facebook.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
I was telling you before the show how today we were interviewing people for Aurora Sportsman's Club, and this guy sits down and I get his packet to interview him, and I said, "What do you do?" And he says, "I work for this police department." And I go, "Oh, let me tell you a funny story about this police department." I said I was there and inspected a firearm for a homicide trial that I'm on. Blah blah blah. He said, "Oh, which one is it?" I told him which one it was, and he goes, "I just testified to that." And I go, "You did?" "I just testified on Thursday." He testified against what I was saying. He was my nemesis, but we don't see each other. We don't. I heard about him, but he's a really nice guy. He's a real good guy. And we both looked at each other and go, "Yeah, he's not getting out." That's what we've all been saying. Yeah, that's not happening. So
he's not getting out of prison.
So it was an interesting day, and I shot IDPA. I haven't shot IDPA in 10 years. And I went to, and they were very accommodating because I had to get back and do the thing, so they put me at the head of the line, also so that they could laugh at me, I'm sure.
They would have all day to laugh at you.
Exactly. But here's the interesting thing. I shot every bit as well today as I did 10 years ago, the last time I shot IDPA.
Terrible.
Yeah, I sucked then and I sucked now. Anyway.
Like there was only one possible conclusion on that.
And that's where it was going, yeah.
Just like your golf game.
It's very much, yes, it is, actually. Moving any object through the air across the ground, I'm not good at. Yeah, you've driven with me, But, yeah. So, but really, really good group of people. Just a really fun group. You have a good time. You screw up and you laugh, and everybody has a good time. It was very enjoyable. I wish I could do it every month, but they went out of their way to accommodate me today, putting me ahead of each time, to get me through. And I can't expect them to do that. So, but I would very much like to. So, if you guys are out there, if you're into action shooting, our IDPA group is really, really good. They really, really are good. Give us a call. 815-205-1584. 815-205-1584. It's been 2 weeks since somebody called. We need a phone call.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right.
A little bit more about the concealed carry thing, though. There's so many myths out there. And the problem with the myths is you and I mean, pro-gun people don't exactly know what the heck to believe. We don't know what's true and what isn't true because they just concoct this stuff. One of the things that they always talk about is if you have a gun in the home, somebody gets shot. I mean, statistically, that's just not.
Yeah,
that's not true.
If you have a gun, you're more likely to have it used against you than to be able to use it against someone else,
or to commit suicide with it.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
But we know that states that are very anti-concealed carry. They all have it now, but states that are very anti-concealed carry, like Hawaii and places like that, their violent crime rate's like 11% higher on average than the national average. It's just, there's no one-to-one nexus. You can't pick this thing and say this proves it, but all the evidence is there. It's very clear that that's what happens. What is this? Florida that had. Since they started in 1988, they've done, 2.5 million, I think, concealed carry permits?
Something like that. Yeah.
And their percentage of people who have, with a concealed carry permit, who've gone on to commit a crime with a gun is 0.006%. 0.006%. That's a few hundred.
You said it was even less than the police officers who end up committing crimes with guns.
Right, it is. It is a lower statistical number than cops, and way lower than the Gen Pop, Way, way lower than that. But liberals just, you know what? In the face of all logic, in the face of all evidence, they always double down and screw up. They're proposing a bill in New York, Senate Bill 3444. Only the Democrats support this bill. It's strictly party line stuff. And they say, they are saying that all guns are going to have to be child-proofed. Now, there's various ways, apparently, that you can do this. You can have the trigger pull so heavy that a child can't pull it. That's one thing. You could use smart gun technology. We know about that. We've talked about that before. So they're saying at least a 10-pound trigger pull. Well, you know what? 10-pound trigger pull is heavy, yeah, but it's not that heavy. A kid could pull a 10-pound trigger pull.
Well, they're talking about 5 years old. So, nah.
But they could.
They'd have to really be working at it.
You ever been around 5-year-olds? They can steal you blind.
They don't work at anything. If something's too hard, they give up.
The other one is, and I have yet to find out what this means. It could have the capacity to require a series of multiple motions in order to fire the gun. So like what, the chicken dance, you put 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and the gun goes off. The problem with all of this stuff is, and really the big problem with smart guns, the scary problem, is if you're the guy on the ground and you need help and somebody picks the gun up, your spouse, for instance, can't fire the gun.
Right. And they also point out that if you make if you choose the heavy trigger pull, that could also make it so that elderly people couldn't defend themselves with guns. And
we've had arthritic people, for instance.
Oh yeah, who literally can't wrap their hand around a hand grip because their hands are so arthritic. So yeah, I mean it's not that simple. Is basically the upshot.
It's interesting because the New York Police Department, the infamous New York spring for Glocks, which we had for a while, that's a 12-pound trigger spring. It's like you gotta wrap a chain around it and hook it to your bumper of your car, okay? So they know the result of having a 12-pound trigger pull.
Right.
The cops have a 15% hit ratio with a 12-pound trigger pull.
Right.
So what you're really saying is, let's make this gun so that not only is it unsafe in general, but you're going to shoot the wrong guy because you can't hit the broadside of a barn when you're pulling 12 pounds.
To
Exactly.
To try to get it to go off.
They have no clue what they're doing. They just literally have no clue whatsoever what they're doing. And the problem is, this stuff, you get basically an all-Democrat, like in Chicago. This is the kind of crap they could pass.
Right.
They could actually pass stuff like this because basically Republicans are, they're not. Do they even allow them in the alderman chambers? I think they just lock them out, don't they?
Are there any?
You can't come in.
Yeah, I'm not sure there are any.
I think it's on a monitor. They're in a different room. They watch it on television.
It's like a video deposition,
Exactly,
like a video arraignment.
Yeah, put them over in the Union League. Let them watch it from the TV in the Union League.
They just put them in like a little room at the prison, and they're arraigned by video.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a whole list of myths that they have in this one article that I came across. One of them that's been floating around is 460 people have been killed by CCW permit holders. That's just not true. Violence Policy Center covered a 6-year span. I think they found 76 of all types of shootings, including justifiable homicides. The truth is that considering the size of the body of concealed permit holders, the millions, the actual use of a gun is pretty slight. It's pretty small.
Well, and that's, we say that in concealed carry class, that's why if you get concealed carry insurance, that will help you with your legal bills if you have to shoot somebody in self-defense, the cost of it is actually infinitesimally, it's very small because they know that the chances you're ever going to do that are infinitesimally small.
It's a good moneymaker. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, they probably are never going to have to pay out on any given person, so they can offer it fairly cheaply.
Nobody's calling.
No.
Let's, what if we say that Alan will give them a car if they call?
I think they're probably going to see through that.
He's a rich guy. He works for a big corporation. He's indispensable. They call him in the middle of the night for crying. He gets calls going around the show.
I don't doubt that he's indispensable, but having an extra car laying around, I don't think he does.
Yeah, I have one for sale, but,
What, to buy a new gun?
Well, obviously.
What else is there?
What else would I do with money?
What can I say? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what's going on. I haven't talked to, I won't say his name, but I haven't talked to the people that we know in Springfield. Apparently they were going through today, though. They were actually doing Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they're going home for tomorrow. But I don't know the status of anything right now in the State House.
Yeah, I haven't
heard anything.
I know that, was it 1976 or 60, whatever that bill was, it passed through the committee, so it
in
went
the
on
House.
to the,
Yeah.
but that's all I know.
I don't think it's gotten past that.
Yeah.
If we did, we'd gotten something
I don't
from
know if
Pearson.
it's on like first, second reading. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think if that had happened, I think we'd have gotten something from Pearson. He fires
Right.
that stuff out
Sure.
instantly. Yeah.
Sure.
It's, I don't know. I do know they got a whole bunch of bills that they're trying to do. They're trying to do the any semi-automatic, which.
Yeah,
Well,
SB 556. That's a bad one.
Yeah.
I don't think it will pass.
That's
simply,
it.
simply
I don't think it'll
because
get legs.
there's enough Democrats that wouldn't support
Yeah.
it.
And then they're going to immediately make, if that happened, because it said semi-automatic. Didn't say pistol, rifle, shotgun. It said
Right. It's everything.
semi-automatics.
It's everything.
Which then it's going to go to court because they're going to say, well, it's infringing on my right to own a handgun.
Right, because it's almost every gun.
Right. So who knows?
Didn't we already get that in the Supreme Court that whatever a reasonable weapon, like whatever a common gun is,
Right.
is covered by the Second Amendment?
But of course, their claim is that it's not. It's not reasonable. It's not common, which is insane because
It's the most common.
right. It's exactly right. It's the most. If they'd have been out today at IDPA, they would have certainly seen it.
Right. I mean, that's most people have semi-auto pistols, and then semi-auto rifles are obviously super popular. And I really didn't know. I mean, you don't have a semi-auto shotgun.
I don't.
Oh, maybe you do. I don't.
I certainly do.
Oh, okay. Well, we saw a lot of them at the Pulling for Special Olympics event
Right.
last weekend. So, semi-auto
Yeah.
shotguns are pretty popular too.
I got a Benelli Super Black Eagle. That's
Oh,
a
I didn't-
mother.
I
That's
didn't
my
know that.
waterfowl gun. Oh yeah, that's a sweet gun.
And you still can't kill anything.
I like nature. I tell you, there's a place in Canada where there's a point, and there's rice paddies on either side, and the ducks cross over. It's called pass shooting, and that's the only place I needed a blind because there's kind of exposed rock. So Rocky, my hunting dog, may he rest in peace, if he would see me take that blind and put it in a boat, he knew exactly where we're going. It was pass shooting. He'd like go and get his slippers, to get a pipe, a newspaper. He knew he wasn't getting in the water. I can't hit crap. I mean, full on. Like you take a full auto belt-fed 12 gauge, I could be going. I'm still not going to hit those damn birds. When they fly and land right in front of you, literally in the water, in front of you, and Rocky would look at me and go, "It's right there, shoot him." then I could get him. But other than that, no. Anyway, we'll be back with more shooting ducks or something. I don't know what we're going to do. When we come back, we'll talk about something. United Nations. We'll talk about the UN when we return with more on Target Radio. Hi, I'm David Lombardo, co-host of On Target Radio, and I'd like to offer you a partnership opportunity. For over 4 years, On Target Radio covered the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech, on AM 560 The Answer. But a 1-minute commercial was $200, making it tough to find enough sponsors. So last November, we left AM 560 and began podcasting. There's a learning curve to podcasting, and we've worked through the kinks and would now like to make you an offer. You can have a 60-second audio or video commercial for as little as $25 a week. We can also offer fellow conservatives their own radio or video podcast for as little as $100 a week, with equipment and technical personnel included. You provide the content and host, plus get 6 free minutes of commercial time you can sell yourself. If you'd like to be an On Target Radio sponsor or explore the possibility of having your own show, call me at 815-741-3474, and let's explore the possibilities together.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
This segment is brought to you by the Will County Grassroots Division of the Illinois State Rifle Association. Join like-minded friends supporting the right to keep and bear arms in Illinois at 7 p.m. on the third Wednesday of the month at the Silver Dollar Restaurant in Elwood, Illinois.
The bear arms, keep and bear arms. It just sort of hit me as, never mind. Keeping your own arms, bearing them? I don't know.
I have the right to bear arms.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what was going through my mind when I said that. We have somebody on hold. We have a caller whom we will talk to at this time. Friendly caller, are you there?
Hello, Dave and Gretchen and Eric. It's
Hello.
Jeff.
Hello.
Greetings.
Well, I felt sorry for you when you said earlier nobody's called in 2 weeks, so I thought I'd call him.
Well, we're hoping...
Let you know that... Well, I know I keep calling in about this Hearing Protection Act.
Yes, you do.
It's very important to me. I want it to pass. And we added one more senator. I think it was Mike Lee from Utah.
Really?
And,
He just signed on? Mike Lee is like, he's buds with Ted Cruz. I would think he'd
Well,
be
yeah,
like
that's what Ted
first
Cruz
in
signed on
line.
about 3 weeks ago.
That just popped out
with
of your
Mike
head.
Lee.
She just knew
And,
him.
Oh, we're buds.
up,
We're pals. Yeah.
he
me,
makes,
me and Mike and Ted, we do lunch.
So keep on going.
Well,
This
I
is-
think that the reason these guys, slowly sign on is they have to have a lobbyist come and talk to them,
yeah,
or
yeah.
maybe their pals that are on the same page, because they got so much else going on their plate, legislatively. Not to mention, and then you got the fundraising thing that these guys are always constantly doing. So it's not that they're hesitant. I think that when they have somebody come in and sit down and explain it to them, and they'll say, "Yeah, I can go with that." After they have their aides check, do a poll or something, a secret internal poll and stuff. But yeah, we're up to 16 senators and 141 representatives. And
What do you actually have to have?
as far as co-sponsors,
Yeah, how many do you actually have to have?
I don't know.
There's
There's
no
if there's
number.
a requirement.
Could we
It's
kick
a
the
matter
football?
of getting it out of. Well, it's a matter of getting it out of committee for a full vote in the chamber. It's not. It rests in the committee.
Yeah.
That's where they can either kill it or move it out to a regular vote. And I don't think there's a minimum number of co-sponsors. What I do know is the more co-sponsors you have, the better chance you have
Sure.
of getting it for
Yeah.
a regular vote.
Yeah.
And I think, in my humble opinion, I'm not an expert by any means, that they could get 30, maybe 40 senators and 175 to 200 representatives, it'll be a done deal.
Yeah.
I really think so.
A lot of pushback to this, though. A lot of pushback.
Well, yeah. We already had this senator from New York that replaced Hillary,
Right.
Gillibrand, she's already come out and said, "I'm going to fight this tooth and nail."
Yeah.
Well, she's got about as much influence as I do. She's nobody. She's a nobody.
Well, yeah, but enough nobodies add up.
Yeah, and it'll come down to how much of a backbone the Republicans have because they control, the chambers. So it comes down to that.
Well,
Hey, I'd like to make a little diversion. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and that's the reality of it. The reality is if they want it out of committee, they can get out of committee because we control everything. Except they don't know that. They haven't figured it out.
They don't, and they certainly don't use their power the way the Democrats would use
No.
it if the shoe was on the other foot. I mean, some of these guys are such. There's a reason we call them rhinos, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of good ones on our side, but some of these guys, it's like, what? I mean, why do people even vote for you?
Well,
Okay,
we've got our share of rhinos. We got what's his name who went Kinzinger, and
yeah.
he claimed when he first was up for election to begin with, how conservative, and he was a military guy, wasn't he, Gretchen? Kinzinger was a military guy, and he claimed, how conservative he was and all this.
He was in the expensive flying club that you like to talk about.
Oh, was he an Air Force guy?
I think so.
Oh, well, I don't want to embarrass my Air Force friends, but except for the ordnance, it's another fancy flying club.
Well, the biggest Illinois rhino I can remember is the guy we just gave a pink slip to in November. That Mark Kirk.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah, absolutely.
He was horrible. I mean, I think I voted for Tammy Duckworth just to spite him. I mean, he was worthless.
Well, here's the thing about him. I think he ran I don't know this for a fact, but I think he ran as a Republican because he figured he could get elected if he ran as a Republican. I don't think he ever was a Republican.
He was fiscally
yeah.
conservative, but everything else, no.
He was, yeah. I mean, he certainly didn't.
He
Almost
was-
nothing we
He
stand
was
for.
pro-abortion.
Yeah.
He was anti-Second Amendment. Yeah, and he was total crap.
Yeah, he was total loser. I'd like to make a little diversion and tell people, back on May 5th, the Rock Island Armory, or the Rock Island Auction House,
Yeah.
had their auction of Elvis Presley's, 2 of his revolvers
Oh.
that he had custom engraved. You can go
Really?
to their website and still see the story.
Huh.
One was a 6-inch Colt Python with gold and silver inlays. Oh, it's beautiful.
Wow.
And the other was a 2-inch Smith Model 19 dash 3, I think it was, engraved and everything the same way. And they actually had a picture of him holding it in his hand.
Huh.
That went for $192,000 plus. The Python went for $172,000. They also auctioned off the sheriff deputy's badge that the sheriff of Shelby County gave him back in the early 70s, made him a deputy.
Oh, yeah,
sheriff.
yeah.
And he had it embellished with like rubies and stuff like that. That pulled $43,000.
You know, I've
biggest-
never been there. There's a group of our guys at the club who go there religiously. They're part of the group that I call the Brahmins, but they go there all the time, and I've yet to go there. I've never been. Where do you live? Where are you?
I'm in Berwyn.
So how long does it take you to get there?
It's about, I think it was an hour and a half or 2 hours.
And you're further east.
Just go down
than we would
88.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. It would only take. I think it would only take you about an hour where you're at.
One of these days we need
I've
to
been
go
there. It's a magnificent thing. You will be in hog heaven. Just they have preview day, but you can go there. I can't remember if we charge permission or not, but it's just the collectible stuff, and
Yeah.
it's way out of my price range, my pay scale.
Yeah.
But no, it's magnificent. They are the absolute number one firearms auction house in the country. They people come from all over the world
Cool.
to go there because they send out. If you sign up, you can sign up to get their catalog.
Yeah, right.
And when
I've
they
seen
have
it.
an auction coming up, they have this full color catalog, and
Yeah.
it shows you all the stuff.
And we're talking
some of the
we're talking
artifacts.
expensive stuff.
Oh yeah, this is like for the guys who seriously high net worth.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to shoot this stuff.
No,
You're
it's
just going to hang up
collectibles.
the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but everything from like the Old West, both World Wars. I mean, it's just everything you can possibly think of. It's just to sit and look at it. It's like, oh man, this is something else. And one more thing they did of Elvis, they auctioned off the original deed that he when he bought Graceland.
Oh, really?
That actually got more than the sheriff had. Yeah,
Cool.
the deed. You can see it. It's documented, and with his signature and all this other stuff and that. And somebody paid like $47,000 for that.
It's amazing. It's
I just
amazing
thought
what
I'd throw that
people will
out
pay.
there.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey,
But if you
thanks
go
for
to the
calling.
Rock Island, no problem. Have
All
a good
right.
week. Thank you.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, there you go. One more.
Did
It's,
that scratch your itch?
It's what?
Did that scratch your itch?
Yeah. Well, we got the phone call now, so we're good. We're happy. The one thing I really want to just talk about
The royal we.
The royal we. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do the hand wave thing too.
Don't include me in.
Yeah, I could be a king. I can do that. The little with the hand. See, I could do that. I don't think they went far enough, but God love him. He cut $640 million of money that we were throwing away on the UN.
Well, it's proposed, yeah.
Well, they'll do it.
I hope so.
If the one thing Trump doesn't do is say I'm going to do something and then not do it. Usually you don't even know until he's done it.
He certainly makes an effort. Obviously the
legislature.
I do have a tendency to watch the Jimmy Fallon show, and then following Jimmy Fallon is ultra liberal Seth Meyers. And so what these liberal a-holes are always saying is that Trump's not getting anything done, that he's not actually doing anything. And I'm like,
He's run out of ink.
Right. I'm like, are you watching the same news that I'm watching?
Yeah.
Because I'm watching NBC and he's getting a lot of stuff done. But they're obviously focusing on the things that he hasn't been able to do, like repeal and replace Obamacare.
Right. But what for the first 2 months, every working day he signed something? I mean, just
and then he goes to
constantly.
Florida and he works down there, and it's constant. And the man never sleeps.
No, I don't think he does. Well, I read his book, Art of the Deal, and for him, the game is what matters. That's what he loves. Mm-hmm. So he sets a goal, and then he figures out, how am I going to do this? Mm-hmm. And he'll do it any way it's necessary. He'll work with somebody he can't stand, whatever it takes to get the deal done. Sure. So that he's signing these things every day. He's doing deals, man. This is, we got this, we got that. Yeah. Fortunately, I'm beginning to say he's a conservative, and I've always liked him, but I certainly had some questions about him. But most of what he's done is hard to find fault with. There's a few things that I don't know that I necessarily agree with.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I'm definitely Team Trump.
And the biggest thing about him is the people he has picked. Mm-hmm. That's,
I agree.
Just really surrounded himself with people that I go, mm-hmm. Secretary of Defense, you know how I feel about him. It's like,
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And Tillerson, I mean.
Yeah.
T-Rex. Talk about cojones. Yeah. I mean, that guy's got a set.
Oh, didn't I tell you? You're not coming with us on this trip.
Yeah.
I'm taking this guy who's got a blog. He's coming on it. Yeah. And then they complain because they had to go first-class commercial. Mm-hmm. We're talking about journalists, if you don't know where this is coming from. When he wouldn't take the journalists with him, he said, with space, we're taking a small, which, if you think about it, the man goes, I don't need a big airplane.
And then later they said actually it wasn't because of space, but who cares?
Who cares? It was a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. But
sign me up for not caring.
Exactly. And, Nikki Haley's at the UN, and she just, the very first day, the first time she addressed the UN, she just unloaded with both barrels of a shotgun. She just goes, business as usual is over. This is it. It's done. Yeah. We're not going to go with this anymore. And this is all.
She's like, I know technically they call me a diplomat, but not so much.
Exactly. It's a beautiful thing. And of course, the liberals are going insane.
Right.
He's insane. That's what they're saying. He's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he is from their perspective because they're the ones who are really insane.
Right.
And he's the one that's
because
being
he doesn't
logical.
Believe or support any of the crazy crap that they support.
And slowly but surely, he's just unraveling all of it. So as far as I'm concerned, they kick these bums out of the UN, level that building and turn it into a skating rink that be done with it. Anyway, when we return, we're going to talk a little bit about how many conservative speakers have been hired by colleges for graduation. All that and more when we return with more on Target Radio.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. The On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
In need of a ride to O'Hare or Midway Airport? Well, look no further. The Yellow Checker Cab Company is the cab company for you. With the Yellow Checker Cab Company, you will always be greeted by a friendly face and arrive safely and on time for your flight. Start your trip off right by taking advantage of one of their limos, shuttle vans, cabs, or courtesy cars. And airport trips are not all they specialize in. This 24-hour cab service will pick you up anytime, any day, for any occasion. From bachelorette parties to school dances to just a night out with friends. Yellow Checker Cab Company has the best rates in town. So sit back, relax, and leave the driving to the professionals. Once you experience their fast and affordable cab service, you'll be a customer for life. When it comes to cab companies, be sure to choose Yellow Checker Cab because you have the right to expect certain things from your cab company. For further information or to book your trip today, call 815-744-2900. That's 815-744-2900.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
According to the ISRA, there were over 10,000 witness slips filed against SB 1657. Good job. Stay tuned for the next battle. The following Safer USA classes are at our facility in Waterman. Saturday and Sunday, June 3rd and 4th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. The 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry as well as Florida, Arizona, and Utah. Sunday, June 11th, Long Range Rifle, taught by Ed Janka. Sunday, June 11th, Tactical Pistol 1 and 2, taught by David. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on Register.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Conservatives invited to speak at commencements. Alex, I'll take conservatives invited to speak at commencements for $100.
This is top colleges. Obviously, they're not looking at every little pissant college, and every little podunk town.
And you think that's going to be better?
No, yeah, because there's a lot of little Christian colleges that I'm sure are not on this list.
Yeah, but nobody goes to talk at them.
Yeah, sure they do.
Bob.
It's not famous people.
Bob the mechanic on the corner.
Right. They're not getting Ann Coulter.
Well, I don't know. They might. She kind of goes everywhere. She's, I like it.
Oh, no, I'm sure she's way too expensive for them.
They don't do this just for the love of conservatism?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. We have a pretty low fee for that.
It's all about the Benjamins.
0. Yeah.
I don't know. You don't think we should charge for commencement speeches?
Oh, I think we should, but I just don't think no one would know.
Okay.
Bob will call and say, "I'll give you $5 to come to my house and talk."
I'm just going to take a moment to brag on myself. I had 2 speaking engagements this month. I am an in-demand speaker.
Are we almost done with the show?
How many speaking engagements did you have this month?
Well, first of all, one of them you got because I was busy. So let's not get too full of ourselves.
They asked for me.
Do you want the truth now or do you want the truth later? I got the phone call and it was Thursday night and I had to run a meeting and I said I can't do it. Gretchen will probably do it. So I don't know what the other one was. The Lockport or whatever.
No, Reedwood. No,
yeah, that was that they called it.
No, they said they wanted a woman to come speak at the South Suburban meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so my vagina got picked. So whatever.
That's fine. They didn't call me. I dreamt.
Me and my vagina are inextricably linked. Okay, so there you go.
I'm not even going down that road. That's just,
don't do it.
No matter what, I'm going to be a loser.
You make fun of me because I get gobsmacked sometimes, but that's my revenge. That's what I do to you.
I've got a comeback line. It's just that you'd probably
but you can't say
shoot me across the table.
It's my revenge.
Yeah, well, fine. So 45 top colleges, whatever that qualifies for, 45 top colleges have liberal commencement speakers, and 4 conservatives had, or 4 colleges had conservatives. And those 4 were Mike Pence, who we'll get back to in a moment here, spoke at Notre Dame, Israeli Ambassador Ron Dermer, sports commentator Ernie Johnson, and Mayor G.T. Bynum of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, the Mike Pence thing is interesting. At Notre Dame, so students walked out, and that's all you saw.
Right.
Students that walked out of his talk. It was like 100 or something. There were thousands of people at this thing.
They're saying most of them stayed.
Yeah, and that's of course what they play up.
And most of the guests, the parents, grandparents, etc., were disgusted.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. That's true. Because grown-ups aren't playing the game. Mm-hmm. I read it. I don't remember if it was in the paper. Someplace I read yesterday that they were talking about this. This has never happened before. When Obama, we didn't like Obama clearly, and we're very vocal about not liking it. But it's not like we went out and rioted. It's not like we were trying to find ways, to impeach the guy. We wanted him out of office. But conservatives weren't being violent. They weren't being, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is like unheard of stuff. This is dangerous stuff. They're actually, and they're not making bones about it, any bones about it.
Right.
Obama's got a place within a couple of miles of the White House. Mm-hmm. He's got all these people in action. Soros is. Isn't it interesting that the press can find a nexus between Russia and Trump, but not between George Soros and Barack Obama?
Right.
Like that doesn't exist somehow.
Right.
Yeah. It's a shadow government. I mean, they're doing everything they can to get him out. They've got all these quack psychologists and psychiatrists going on and say, well, he's mentally unfit. First of all, that is against APA, American Psychological Association. Right. It's against their rules to do that.
Right.
These aren't people who've actually ever interviewed the president or anything.
Exactly.
They're going on TV and making public and stuff. That's they will stoop to anything.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, if a Republican did that...
They have, well, I mean, everyone knows, I mean, them included, they have no scruples.
None.
I mean,
and no shame at all.
Any means to an end.
Yeah.
As you said, it's, rules for radicals. It's any means to an end. They don't care.
And the man is literally trying to put the country back on track.
Yeah.
Trying to reduce the debt, trying to bring jobs back in. Things that the Democrats, you would think, well, they would be behind if it was one of theirs.
Right.
But
if they didn't.
It's not one of theirs.
Well, and it's like, yeah, it's not their guy, and it's also not their methods, because their methods don't work.
Yeah.
And
it's George Bush's fault.
It drives them crazy that, Obama basically, jobs like clawed and scratched their way back up throughout 8 years of Obama, and then Trump comes along and it's the stock market and everything is just like straight up.
Yeah, it defies logic, because
it really does.
The whole thing about all these investigations, that's a double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. If they want to open that can of worms, so be it. But look at all the stuff. The Democrats are low-hanging fruit for that. They really are. I mean, you could just walk through the garden and pluck stuff off a tree and prosecute somebody. They're so ungodly dishonest. Not that there's never been a dishonest Republican. Of course there has.
Of course there is.
But this is like a culture of corruption.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's stunning. And I don't understand it. So universities, which supposedly are supposed to stimulate thought, they're supposed to make you well, they can't make intelligent.
They're supposed to challenge.
Yeah, it's a good word. They're supposed to challenge you. Right. You're supposed to feel intimidated when you're an undergraduate.
What about intimidated?
Well, intimidated from what you don't know. You're supposed to have that sense.
You're supposed to be challenged in your thinking as far as, the way that you were raised, the place that you came from. You've been with your family for 18 years. You went to, school in probably one place.
Our mother, Perpetual Motion High School or
for
something.
12 years or so. And now, we're going to challenge what you've always thought, and because you've been in a fairly homogenous culture up until that point. And, that's the idea. And you're going to college nowadays, and it's just more homogenous. It's different homogenous, but it's still homogenous, which is, 60% liberal.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, maybe you, I don't remember, but you go to a place like the University of Illinois, which is one of the top schools in the country, or Northwestern, or Harvard, any top school, and you have to be a straight A student to get in. I mean, you got to jump through all the hoops. You have to be the cream of the crop.
Right.
And so those individuals go to Harvard or go to the University of Illinois or go to Northwestern or wherever they go there as the best from where they came from.
Sure.
And they enter a new system where they are pond scum.
Right.
They are one of countless faces who've done exactly the same thing.
Best. Yeah.
And a lot of universities have a pretty high suicide rate. They can't handle it. They can't adjust to going from top of the heap to just one of the masses.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but those are exactly the ones that don't commit suicide, are exactly the ones that you have to challenge them, because they were very good at what they did. And that's what they take with them. And that's what they believe. And if you don't challenge them, they just end up being high school kids who get older, And they don't do that. That's been going on for a long time. Certainly since the 60s.
Oh, yeah,
it
definitely.
Really has been.
That was really when it started.
I've told you before that when I went to my first job as a professor was an assistant professor at Louisiana Tech, and every fall they have the faculty luncheon. And what they do is, all the faculty get together for a free meal, so they like that, and then they introduce the new faculty for the year. And when I got introduced by the Vice President of Academic Affairs, he goes, I want to introduce Assistant Professor Lombardo in the Aviation Department. He is now our new resident conservative. And everybody laughed, but for 3 years they'd come and knock on my door. Now, as a conservative, what do conservatives think about this? Like I'm some sort of freaking voice of conservatism, I usually just go, well, we shoot him, and that sort of take them aback.
Wouldn't come back again.
Yeah.
That's like when I worked at a convent. whenever the nuns wanted to know something about the Bible or Protestantism, they would come knock on my door.
We didn't study, but I have a Bible. I got a Bible. It's brand new, practically.
I was going to say,
even though it's 60 years old.
Has the binding ever been cracked?
No, I don't think so. Catholics didn't do that. We did catechism. We had catechism and mysteries of the faith when Father would come in once a week and talk about the mysteries of the faith.
Well, anyway, this article says that 60% of college faculty members poll liberal, 30% are moderate, and conservatives are around 10%.
And the rest are drunk, which is not a big surprise. I don't know. And the biggest problem with all that is, can you ever reverse it?
Right.
Can
there's
you
just
change
no
it?
diversity. Yeah. No, I don't think.
I don't know how you do it, because it's like a forest fire. It feeds itself.
Right.
And I honestly don't know how you can turn that around.
And how do they hire professors? Search committees of professors.
Of professors who are all liberal.
Right. I mean, everybody knows that you hire people that you like, and if that's the criterion, then you're just going to hire more liberals.
And that's literally what happens. So we solved that problem, and so now we're going to go away. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen tonight, and we'd appreciate if you tell your friends about on Target Radio.
We'd also like to thank our engineer and announcer, Eric Allen, and our sponsors, the Will County chapter of the ISRA, Yellow Checker of Joliet, My Editor Creative Business Services, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, and Safer USA.
You know, I think it would be fair, since we thank him, that we could let him say goodbye. You could say goodbye.
I could say goodbye.
There you go. See how simple that is? Okay, and finally, we hope that you'll come back next week when we will be covering more red meat issues that affect your life.